Hello, everyone, and welcome back to DCM, Doritos Connections, and Mountain Dew, your favorite local video game talk show. I am your host, Howard Miller.
I'm your co-host, David Scrivani.
And we got a new game review. Third game review?
Is it third?
Resident Evil.
What's the other one we did?
SpongeBob Battle.
SpongeBob. That's why I couldn't remember.
Third game review for the new title, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga.
Let me tell y'all, this has been a game we've been looking forward to for God knows how long. How long was it announced?
Oh, it was announced like
2 years ago?
3 years ago.
Something like that, and it's been delayed, and there's been crunch, which is not great. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But we're here to review the game. It's finally out. We finally played it. Howard's platinumed it. I haven't. I'm still working through getting all the Kyber bricks, but I've played through the story. So I think that's enough for me to give my thoughts on the game.
Okay, so spoiler alert already. Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. I don't know if any of you know that.
What?
We are spoiling 9 movies, 1, 2, possibly 2 TV shows, possibly 2 other movies. Actually, no, probably a 3rd show of Star Wars. So if you have never seen Star Wars before, Shami, don't watch this, because I don't want to see your comments of you whining about how we spoiled how Jar Jar Binks was Darth Sidious in Episode 9. I know, I'm sorry. So, without further ado, so this is the 5th Lego Star Wars game. We had Lego Star Wars 1, which was the prequel trilogy, which actually, if you bought it day 1, it spoiled the entire plot of Episode 3 before
it did.
you ever bought it.
I totally forgot
Along
about
with
that.
including deleted scenes that never made it to the movie.
What?
Yeah, so in
Oh, the clones.
The clones
in
at the Jedi
disguise.
Temple.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Which I recently saw a video of someone talking about it, and they're like, this scene is very silly. The clones do not sound like Jedi. I'm like, shut up.
It also, I mean, sound is not whatever. It looks goofy as hell. that's what I thought the problem was.
But so then we had Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. We then had, well, it's like 2.5. It's 2.5th game, where they put both those games together, both the levels. They redid
complete saga.
Add some levels in the complete saga.
They redid some of the cutscenes a little bit.
Yeah, they redid the cutscenes. They they redid some levels, added some levels, replaced some. And then we had Lego Star Wars 3 based off the Clone Wars
Which
series.
I never actually played.
It was Games with Gold like 5 years ago, and I never touched it.
All right.
It's on my list of things to do. Then we had Lego Star Wars for The Force Awakens. Just The Force Awakens. And they originally, I guess, wanted to make a Lego Star Wars game for every sequel movie that came out. But I think at that point they were releasing like 3 of these things a year, so they needed a break. They needed to slow down, reinvent the game. The last game actually was, I think, Lego DC Supervillains in 2019, I want to say. So it has been about 3 years since the last Lego game.
So they've been working on this for quite a while.
Quite a while. And let's just get it off the bat. Oh my God, this game is fantastic.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
They rehauled the combat and made it way more engaging.
It's combo based now. Like so you can just mash the square button like any other square or X, depending on what console you're playing on.
Of course.
To like any other Lego game, but enemies are smarter, so they'll actually block your attacks now. So you got to mix things up. You got to hit different buttons to keep your combos going. And the more combos you do, the higher combo you get, more precious studs you get. And I gotta say, it took me a while to get used to that that combat system because like everyone else, I'm sure, I'm used to just mashing the one button to attack in a Lego game.
So you start the game, and it's like a big celebration of Star Wars. You can actually pick which trilogy you wish to start. So you can pick through the prequel trilogy, the sequel trilogy, or when I looked at the stats, the thing no one did, start the sequel trilogy. first. You can do it in any order, but you cannot start on episode 2. You have to either do episode 1, 4, or 7.
Right.
So I, of course, picked the prequel trilogy. I don't know which one you did.
I did the same thing. I went 1 all the way to 9 in successive order.
So we can first start with the prequel trilogy. So they got pretty much most of the Clone Wars voice actors back from that show. And what they do is they reenact the story. But because they already did the story of Star Wars before, it is completely unhinged with what goes on in the background sometimes. Yeah. Like the motif of Jar Jar licking things, then getting yeeted across the screen constantly. That was the funniest thing in the world, and I loved it.
Yep. I mean, there's the prequel trilogy especially because the prequel trilogy, the actual films themselves have become such a meme now. They very much include a lot of those memes. Like, everyone loves a good, "It's over, Anakin, I have the high ground" joke. So you know what they did? The final level of Revenge of the Sith. What's the title of the level? It's called the High Ground.
And you know what how he gets the high ground? He jumps on the cliff, and then he steps up on a step ladder.
It was very good.
And then says, "I have the high ground." There's so many memes and references in the prequels. It's actually insane that like some of its dialogue. Like what in episode 2 when they're both walking, when Padme and Anakin are walking out, and Padme's like, "Oh no," and Anakin's like, "I had that nightmare again." And Padme goes, "Oh no, was it about the sand again?"
Yeah, the "I don't like sand" is a recurring joke in the game.
It's literally in basically almost every episode.
Yeah, pretty much. When you play as Darth Vader in free play and you get a Kyber brick, the line of dialogue they recorded for him getting a Kyber brick is like, perfect, and there's no sand on it either.
So you play through episode 1, 2, 3, and there's a bunch of they now actually have this new thing called, like, I guess, character classes, where there's 300 characters across all 9 movies, and they each fit into specific categories. There's Jedi, Hero, Scoundrel, Bounty Hunter, Enemy, Sith, Protocol Droid,
Astromech Droid, and then Extra.
And then the Extra, which is characters who don't have abilities.
Basically.
And they each have their own unique ability, and now they have upgrade trees to help boost said abilities. Or if you don't want to do the same repetitive mini game again, skip them, or get bonus studs for completing them. And I liked it, but I do think on paper is that a lot of the categories felt pretty unbalanced.
Okay.
So Sith only has like 8 characters.
They do.
And they don't like blur off to like extra characters from like the expanded universe of Star Wars, because they do have some. But they don't like touch any of them. Like there's no, I mean, if we're gonna do Clone Wars, right? There's no Savage Opress, there's no Asajj Ventress, and there's no dual wielding Darth Sidious. And those are the Sith I can think of off the top of my head.
I think those are the only ones that really saw in the Clone Wars. In terms of Rebels, none of the Inquisitors.
Yep.
Which seems like it would have been a good get because they're going to be showing up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series very soon.
Yeah. And so like character-wise, there's barely any, and they include it in. I'll get this when we get to the next one. But also, they do exactly the same thing as the Jedi. Like even all upgraded, they basically do exactly the same. Like there really is no difference.
For me, I tend to use the dark side more than the Jedi, if only because where the doors you can like cut open with the lightsaber. With the dark side, you can just hold the one button to smash it down. It takes about the same amount of time, but it's less work on my part.
Yeah, and the choices there. Also, there's like, if you don't buy the DLC, like no bounty hunters, when bounty hunters is one of the best classes in the game. A lot
of the bounty hunters come from like the Mandalorian pack.
Yeah, because like the only expanded universe bounty hunter I can think of is like that chick that's like pale with the red
Aura
ponytail.
Singh.
Aura Singh. That's like the only one I can think of.
Yeah, and the fact, so this goes into a bigger thing. Like the amount of Clone Wars characters they didn't put in, but also did. Like you have Mama the Hutt in the game, but you don't have Cad Bane.
Yeah, they didn't have Ahsoka, but you put in Aura Singh.
Or to be fair, Aura Singh showed up for like a split second in the Phantom Menace.
A split second.
Yes, she was there during the pod race scene.
Oh, okay.
She's actually in the movies.
Okay.
So I will give them Aura Singh.
Okay. Okay.
But the fact that they relegated Ahsoka to a DLC pack, because at this point Ahsoka is like one of the most popular characters in Star Wars.
She's getting a TV show.
Yes.
Like it's in production as we're filming.
It literally
this.
just went into production like 2 days ago as of recording.
And they're like, you know what? Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
It's some of the character choices are a little
little weird.
odd.
And we'll get to like the issue, but like prequel trilogy story. Now here's a new thing they did do that actually we gotta give kudos for. So usually in Lego games now, there's a ginormous hub world where you can go and see all the levels. Lego Star Wars saw this, went, all right, bet. And for every planet, it has its own open world.
Yeah, so there isn't one hub world. There's like 20 hub worlds.
There's like, I think it's 22.
Yeah.
22 hub worlds. And you get these hub worlds and you unlock them by playing through the story. So in like, for example, Phantom Menace, you unlock Naboo, you get the City of Thieves and the Gungan City there. You get Mos Espa in Tatooine.
Yep.
And
Coruscant.
and
I think
Coruscant.
specifically in Phantom Menace, you only get the Federal District.
You get the Federal District in Coruscant.
Because you don't get the Uskar District until Attack of the Clones.
Yeah. And then, of course, you get Attack of the Clones. And you can travel from space to each of these planets because now there's space, right? So let's get space out of the way. Cool concept. Very disappointing.
Yeah, it didn't seem like there was enough to do in space. They had they have those like space battles, but they just give you studs.
Yeah,
It's not like much of a reward for doing them.
Yeah, the only really cool thing is the capital ship mechanic,
which has only happened to me once in my gameplay, and that was the Trade Federation battleship.
That's because 2 of them you unlock via quests.
Okay.
Okay. So how it works is if you mess around, and in the prequel planets, the trilogy planets, or the sequel planets, you get a different ship that's essentially a capital ship in which you do a space battle against it. Then you raid the ship, you take out the captain, unlock the captain as a character, and now that is a mini open world ship that you can be in. And you can travel from planet to planet with it, and you will always see it in a horizon if the planet has a clear horizon. Which, now that is a cool mechanic to use for
cool,
space.
I guess.
So like, I think it's both the Death Stars you have to do quests for. But, so you can like activate the Death Star and go to Naboo, and you can pan the camera up and you'll see it just floating in the horizon.
Very cool.
And it's really cool. But space itself, it's very repetitive. There's not enough to do. I mean, even though it has, I think it's glitched at the moment, but it has the final Gonk quest, which I gotta say.
The final Gonk quest?
Yeah.
I don't think I've gone through that one yet.
Yeah. Where there's a Gonk in space and you get a Gonk ship. That's just a Gonk.
Okay.
There's a lot of memes
nice.
about Gonk droid in this, to the point where there's a Sith Gonk droid called Gonkatine.
Okay, that's good.
And if you do that, you get Final Gonk and it gets the spaceship. So there's a whole mini side quests in the open world, not in the missions themselves, where you with the Gonk droid. It's a pretty good saga. But the missions themselves are hit or miss.
I agree.
So in Lego, how it used to work and how it mainly still works is in these hub worlds you go access a mission. These would be like a level. But because they intertwine, because they have 22 hub worlds, they got to make use of it. They have you do stuff in the hub worlds and they have missions. So they kind of intertwine to the point where sometimes if you're going too fast, you'll be like, wait, which was the level, which wasn't? And certain chapters have some of the most boring, quick missions you could get. But then there are like, things like episode 3, I would argue episode 4, and honestly, episode 9 too.
Yeah.
All had like banger levels that were like fast paced, but still long enough that you didn't instantly forget what was happening.
Yeah, and some like events play out in cutscenes when they could have been like a full level. Like the thing that surprised me the most was in episode 3, like in our OG Lego Star Wars, the Battle of Coruscant, like flying towards Grievous' ship. That's a whole level. This time it's just a cutscene. You're already on the ship when the gameplay for episode 3 actually starts, which is weird. Because I actually really liked that level in the original Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, that was an on-rail shooter. That was fun. So it's very weird what is a level, what isn't a level. And there's such long breaks between the two sometimes. Like, well, you start episode 1 as Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and you play through and you do the Naboo, you do the Gungan. You actually start on the Separatist ship for negotiations, and I thought that'd be a level. It's not a level. Then you go down to Naboo and you help Jar Jar go to the Gungan city. Not a level. You go talk to the Gungan leader. Still gameplay, not a level. The first level actually starts with the underwater level where you have to go through Naboo's core.
Yes.
Which I was like...
And then the next level after that is the pod race.
Yeah.
Like you don't even go through like rescuing the Queen as a level.
Yeah, that's in the open world. That is not a level. And I don't know about you, but I had way more fun not doing the levels, but by doing the open world. I had way more fun in the open world, to the point where like the levels felt kind of useless, especially because they have a new mechanic. So what happens is you get the 5 mini kits and it builds a ship for you, right? And that's you collect it in the level. But now they have a new thing called, I think, challenges,
which are very hit or miss.
So
in this, I feel.
So idea-wise, it's good. Issue: you do not know what challenges are there before going to the level. Then after you beat the level, you can pay to unlock the challenge requirements.
Yes, you have to pay. Like if you beat the level and you don't do the challenges, it doesn't tell you. It tells you the names of the challenges.
Yeah.
You could potentially try to use context clues to figure out what the challenge actually is. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell you what the actual requirements for completing the challenge are.
It also doesn't pick up on the collectible detector, so you can't find it organically.
Yeah.
And along with that, you can't with all the UI, you can't pin the challenge in like the corner, so you know it's like, oh, okay, I have to beat Darth Vader in 10 minutes in the at the end of episode 6, right? You can't do that. So it's like it's a constant guessing game, and the amount of times I've restarted levels to do just the challenges was infuriating. It was not fun. I think the challenges are like, I don't know. They really need to
one of them, I had a lot of trouble. I think it was the level where you fight Grievous. That one, the challenges.
Oh my God!
Really drove me insane because there's one challenge in that level. It's like when Grievous jumps up high, you sneak up behind him by using the bounty hunter route, which is fine, easy enough. Problem is when you do that, when you get close enough to him that the level progresses, he destroys the floor, and he ends up destroying the floor that you are currently standing on, and as soon as the gameplay resumes, you die. And I actually got stuck in a loop of death in that instance. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna turn off the game. I'll come back to this later.
Yeah, and along with glitches, I have found my fair share of glitches.
The game is a bit
little buggy.
Little buggy.
I was stuck in an infinite death loop. while doing escort missions in space, which are one of the worst side quests in the game.
Oh my god. Have you come across the escort or the smuggling missions, you mean?
I mean, they're both in space. They're both kind of the same thing.
Okay. So have you come across the low poly, no collision Trade Federation ship?
Oh no, that's what happened with all capital ships. For some reason, your capital ship comes with you. I think it's supposed to fight with you, but there's no collision.
That's why it's there.
Yeah, and you can fly through it and shoot through it. But I encountered something much worse. When I flew to the planet, it light speeded me into a collision where an asteroid was. And it blew up my ship. And for some reason, it tricked the game into thinking that I'm constantly hitting an asteroid and that I spawned in the place I shouldn't be. So I was stuck in an infinite death loop where I could not pause. And I exited out of the game. I respawned back in. Same thing happened. I had to close my game a couple times in order for it to trick the game to thinking I wasn't stuck in an asteroid when I was in the middle of nowhere.
Very nice.
But,
I've come across a bug where I don't know if it mostly only it stopped now that I've like completed all the story. So maybe it was something with the story, but it would allow me to go into character select, but it wouldn't actually let me select the character. Like I would hit confirm and then it would say no. So I don't know if it was just an oversight, because there are some points in the story campaign where you can't change your character because you're in a specific point in the story where you need to be a specific character.
And that's fine.
But it would let me go into character select. When that happens, it doesn't let you go into character select. So I don't know. It might be an oversight. I don't know.
Yeah, but there was one really good glitch where if you were the Mandalorian, there was a third slot that would appear that would be Baby Yoda. And if you swapped to Baby Yoda and changed it to Mandalorian, you would then have 4 characters with you, because another Baby Yoda would spawn. And by doing this, you could actually make a small army.
Oh my god!
They patched it out around like the 4th day of release, but you could like have like a mini army of clones with you.
Wow,
And
that's
someone
awesome.
someone was on Coruscant. It's like, I remade Order 66, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cringe. But instead, it was Anakin Skywalker walking into the Jedi Temple with like 20 clones behind him.
So cool.
But they took it out
Oh, I have to look that up.
because if you spawn too many of them, the game would crash. But I'm like, that's so cool of a glitch.
Speaking of the character select, oh my god, the UI for that is so terrible.
Oh, the UI's
It
bad.
is so. Oh my god. I never know what I'm doing when I select the character.
So there's an option. So you can. So there's like a bar of characters. There's only 2 on screen, but if you hit left or right on the D-pad, you can swap through a compilation of characters. Issue: when you go into the menu, you actually have 2 options. The game barely tells you. You can swap a character in one of the character slots, or because you don't know what you're doing, just throw another character in that slot, making it so instead of 8, you now just magically have 9, and you can't get rid of it. And it doesn't make sense. Sometimes when you swap it, it does the exact same thing as it's adding it to the roster. Just, it doesn't make sense. There's no like, I don't know why. I don't know if this is a bug. I don't know if this is intentional, but it's weird.
I tried at least 5 times. Because you know, it gives you, you know, it doesn't reset what characters you have after you close the game, and you'll still have the same amount of characters, same exact characters you have as the last time you played the game. So I was like, okay, I'm getting a little tired of Anakin Skywalker, yellow eyes. Let me switch to a different dark side character. I tried at least 5 times to replace it. Because the way it works, you go over to the character you want to replace it with, then hit down, and then you select the character. I tried 5 times to replace Anakin Skywalker Yellow Eyes with someone else, and every single time it just added the character with it. I still had Anakin Skywalker Yellow Eyes, but now I had 2 dark side characters.
It's insane. But we have been doing a little venting, but we just want to say it's still good.
It's still a very good game, yes.
So prequel trilogy is fun, full of memes. Original trilogy, episode 4 is phenomenal.
Yeah, episode 4 I think for me is like the highlight of the game.
Now I think they use like I think voices from like the actual Lego shorts, because they make movies. I think they use most of those voice actors. Nobody comes to reprise their role except Lando.
Yes, that's true. That's right. Billy D. Williams.
That is the only.
He's the only one.
I'm guessing the only person from Star Wars to actually return to do the voice.
It's not the first time. He was in Robot Chicken as well.
That was a very good skit. That was it. But so he's the only voice actor to come back. It's still good. Original trilogy is still fun. There's a lot more interesting.
I mean, if you want to count Sam Witwer coming back for Palpatine as well, because he's voiced Palpatine in the past.
Oh, did he come back?
Yeah, because he's voiced Palpatine in Force Unleashed, and also the first version of Star Wars Rebels until they got Ian McDiarmid and they re-recorded the lines with Ian McDiarmid.
Ah, okay. So he's back. Which there are some very funny lines with Palpatine and Anakin if you play as both of them, where it's like, have I ever told you the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? And Anakin's like, yeah, you told me already. But then if you switch Anakin to Darth Vader Vader's like, how many times do we have to keep doing this? I know. It's very the character interactions are good.
There are like if you are two characters, some of them like have unique interactions. There's some pretty good ones.
Yeah, like you switch to Palpatine and Jar Jar. Palpatine goes, "I am the Senate," and then Jar Jar goes, "Hello, Senate. Meets Jar Jar Binks." And I'm like, wow, he whips up the dad joke on us.
I like the one where if you're Darth Vader and young Anakin Skywalker, Anakin's like, "Whoa, that's some cool armor. I wish I could have one like that." And Darth Vader's like, "Oh, all in due time."
So it's some fun. So far, it's solid. Then we get to one of my issues, and that is the sequel trilogy. Issue for 300 characters. It's really hard to find 100 characters in the sequel trilogy that people care about. And it seems like most of those slots for the sequel trilogy are costumes for Ben and Rey.
Finn has quite a lot.
Finn has quite a lot too, but not as much. A bunch of random aliens that appear for 5 seconds, pilots, and First Order troopers.
Yeah, it's a bit of it's kind of closed-minded in that regard, unfortunately.
It's really weird because even sometimes in some of the cutscenes, even for characters, just the sequel trilogy feels less insane as the previous two trilogies, because I get it, these are, regardless of how you feel, not very well written movies, so a lot of it's exposition. So sometimes they'll forego jokes in exchange for exposition in the cutscenes and just move the funny dialogue to when you're playing in the open world. And when they're doing it, it's hilarious. Like that one level when Kylo Ren is taking Rey to Snoke. If you mess around in the hallways, Rey will get more and more annoyed with you.
That's very good.
To the point where it's like, okay, are you done now? And Kylo Ren's like, no, but all in due time, and I will take you to Grand Emperor Snoke. Then Rey goes, in due time, you're gonna take me to Grand Emperor Snoke.
I will say, back on the topic of jokes, I do like that the fact that they made shirtless Kylo Ren a recurring joke.
Oh my god.
That was a good one.
That was so funny.
And the fact that you can unlock him as a playable character as well.
I wish they had the I Heart Darth Vader T-shirt as a playable character.
All right, hold on. Traveler's Tales. Who publishes the Lego games?
I think it's Lucasfilms Games.
Okay. Lucasfilm, please release that shirt. Please let us buy that shirt.
I Heart Darth Vader.
I would love a shirt that says I Heart Vader. I would just putting that out there. That's money you're sitting on.
Oh, and the blue milk is also alt president.
Yeah. I mean, so a lot of the funnier jokes I've noticed. So every time you quit the game and then restart, it'll do another like title crawl, but that catching you up to speed. And I don't remember where it was. I think it was like about halfway through A New Hope. But it said, local blue milk enthusiast, Luke Skywalker. It's like, okay.
That was really good. That was really good. So, and for some reason, all the levels in the episode 9, they were all really fun.
Yeah.
It was like one of the best chapters.
The one when you're Finn and Jan are running along the Star Destroyer, that was really, really good.
Yeah, that was good.
I loved that level.
And fighting the Knights of Ren.
Mm-hmm.
But don't worry, all of them are unlockable characters. You could have had Ahsoka, but no. You needed all the Knights of Ren.
And okay, this might be just me being a fake Star Wars fan, but I consume a lot of Star Wars content. I try to consume as much canon Star Wars content as I can. To this day, I don't know who the hell Tali Lintra is. I know she flies an A-Wing. I know she is somewhere in The Last Jedi. I don't know who the hell she is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, she's a playable character in this. She's a playable character in Battlefront 2. And I don't know who the hell she is. I'm sorry.
It's rough.
I don't know who Tali Lintra is.
Yeah. Also, we got to mention this. There's a literal stealth level in episode 9. Like, it's the only stealth mission.
Oh, when they're on Kijimi?
Yes.
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 See, I try to do it stealthily, and so I force mind trick someone to like move away so I could sneak past them, and they're like, immediately turned around and looked at me. I'm like, well, cool. Thanks for ruining the stealth run. I'm sure that's a level challenge that I just failed.
Oh yeah, it is.
Of course it is. Okay.
Of course it is. But yeah, I personally have invested 100 hours into this game to complete it 100%, because there's like golden bricks in the old Star Wars games, free to collect stuff. There's 500, 600. This game looked me dead in the eye and said, ah yes,
1,100.
1,100 collectibles.
And I will be damned if we don't get every single one of those.
Now, I have, so that means I got all the mini kits, did all the challenges, got every single character, did every single thing in space, did every single open world area along with all those quests, which there are some very funny quests and some very funny dialogue, and there's some, oh my god, this was a quest. And one thing I do gotta say about the quests is I like how a lot of quests you can actually do it multiple different ways. So certain quests you can, let's say there's a thing like a kyber brick on like a house, right? And you look and you can see points you can grapple on. Or you could go on that other building that has stairs that's high in the air, and you can use the scavenger character to make a glider and glide onto the rooftop. Or you can take the force crates from over there and stack them and jump up on them. There's a lot of versatilities for certain bricks.
I've lost track of how many times I've used the force on not the force bricks and just like the normal stuff that you can throw at people. I've lost track of how many times I've like carefully maneuvered the character to put the brick down exactly where I need it to be.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
You just janked it.
Yeah, no, you can do it, and they're not going to fix it because you can do it. You can like pick up R2-D2, plop him on top of a building, switch to R2-D2. There was one, I think it was in Coruscant in the Federal District, where it's like underneath like a second floor, you have to like stack bricks, and I just went, I don't want them. In fact, no. So I used the force, lifted up C-3PO, and quickly swapped to him and let go of the force to get the brick.
Yeah.
And I actually appreciate the amount of, because in Ubisoft games, and all these open world games, and they're huge, it's like, no, you have one way to do mission, that is how you do it to get the check mark. This feels more organic.
And that happens in the levels too. There are multiple different paths you can take in the levels sometimes, which is very nice.
I do appreciate that. Like in the episode 4, there's actually a diverging path in which you could take 2 different ways to go complete the level, which is very, very cool.
And sometimes you'll get a level challenge for it.
Yeah, sometimes.
You won't know which path to take, obviously, because that's not how the level challenges work. But
and I have to. Now, Dave, is it okay if I can spoil what happens if you get 100%?
You know what? I'm going to say no.
You know what?
I want to find out for myself.
Good. Leave the room. Leave.
Oh.
I got to do this.
Okay.
I gotta
All
do
right.
this.
I'm leaving the room.
Okay.
See you guys later.
Bye. Okay. Hurry. Bye.
Ah!
Go. Don't go to the control room. You'll hear me. Go far away. Okay. Now that he's gone, when you get 100%, you go to Yavin 4. There's a lever that, just there, and it'll have the 100% on it.
I'm probably
and when
still
you
mic'd
hit
up.
it, it's like the Evangelion thing of like the people clapping at Shinji, going congratulations. That happens with the main Lego characters. And I was dying of laughter for about a good 3 minutes, how it's just that. And like studs will rain down, and there'll be like a techno remix of the Star Wars theme, but it's literally just that, nothing else. Oh, here's a drink. You didn't get me one?
I'm back.
You didn't get me a drink. What the fuck? Oh, wait a minute. Coffee's still over there.
Now he's leaving.
Hold on. I'm still here. Hold on. I'm sorry, Dave, but I had to tell the audience.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's fine.
How weird it was. Okay.
I will find out for myself in due time. It might be a while because so far I've only cleared 2 planets.
Clearing planets in this game is a lot of work.
It
now,
is.
we have to finish it up with the DLC.
Oh, hold on. Can I include one more of my favorite jokes?
Mm-hmm.
The one that I think this is my favorite joke. The one that made me laugh the loudest. So DJ, everyone's favorite character from Return of the Jedi. If you remember, he's a code breaker that Finn and Rose find in prison, and he helps them get onto Snoke's ship to save the Resistance. So being a code breaker, they gave him a tool to get the point across that he's a code breaker. What tool did they give him? They gave him a 2-scale brick separator. And I'm like, all right, that is insanely clever. Good job. It was one of my favorite jokes. It probably is my favorite joke. Go on.
Yeah, my favorite joke is one of the sand jokes where Rey is doing the "Be with me."
That's very good.
Be with me, and Obi-Wan's like, "Use the Force, Rey," and then Anakin goes,
I like sand.
"I like sand," and then Yoda's like, "I agree."
And then Mace is like, we don't have time for this.
Guys, please stop.
Yeah, but yes, DLC. Let's talk about
It's
DLC.
DLC, so they have a character pack at this moment.
I think at this point, I think they've all been released.
They have all been released, yes. So what the character pack is essentially it's no extra levels. It's you pay $20 and you get about 6 character packs. Starting with Mandalorian Season 1, why the Mandalorian was not in the base game, I will
Especially
never know.
considering his ship is in the base game. I don't think you can unlock it without a code,
Yeah.
but it is still in the base game.
Oh, fellas, also, pro tip, there's a lot of characters you cannot unlock unless you use cheat codes.
Most
You
of
can
them
look it
are
up.
like just skins,
Yeah,
basically.
But for the holiday special, there's a Dio one, there's Darth Vader in a sweater.
Because
there's
this was originally supposed to be out during the holiday season.
Yeah, there was a Gonk droid that's Snowman. So there's that. But so there's Mandalorian, the I Have Spoken guy.
Cool.
I don't know these names. Cara Dune.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite.
Wouldn't it have been funny if they took Cara Dune out of the game?
That would have been the funniest thing in the goddamn world. Who is the guy that gives Mando the contracts?
Grief Karga.
He's there, and I think...
IG-11 is the last person.
Oh, IG-11, that's right. Who is essentially just a reskin of the in-game IG-88.
Yeah. Is there even any... I don't think I've seen the model for IG, but I can't imagine it's any different.
It is not really any different. In
And
fact,
because they're both bounty hunters, I'm sure they play exactly the same.
Yeah,
too.
no, they barely even changed the guns for it. So that's that. And honestly, the Mandalorian is one of the best characters in the game.
Mandalorian is one of the characters he's like my go-to bounty hunter. But I did get a little bored of him, so I moved on to the rearmored version of Boba Fett from Season 2 Mandalorian pack.
Which that wasn't the next pack. It was actually, I think, Solo, with a million characters in it for some
all
reason.
of them, most of them, the Scoundrel class.
Which the Scoundrel class, I'm going to be totally real, least fun class to play as.
I agree. I don't like the fact that the gun charges.
Yeah, it does a charge shot instead
But it
of
doesn't.
rapid
It's
fire.
not. It's not like more powerful. Like the charge shot, if you upgrade it, it bounces off walls. But like if you upgrade, if you hold the charge, it doesn't. Like the shot doesn't become more powerful.
Yeah.
Which seems odd to me.
And I'm going to be totally real. I don't know most of the Scoundrel characters. I'm like looking the gears. The gears started turning, the cobwebs dissipated, and I go, who are half these people? So that's that. And so Solo, not a good pack, especially since it was like 6 characters and half of them were just younger versions of characters already in the game.
I mean, who else? I mean, aside from Lando,
Young
Han,
Chewie,
and
young
Chewie,
Han. Yeah.
they had Kira, Tobias Beckett, and Enfys Nest.
I think so.
I don't think, because I don't think they had the villain whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's Paul Bettany.
But fellas, I don't know why Solo also was not, like you'd think Solo in the next DLC pack, Rogue One, I don't know why they all weren't included
In the base,
game.
because the game is called the Skywalker Saga, and technically Solo and Rogue One are not part of the Skywalker Saga.
Okay, so that means they got to put in more Clone Wars characters, and they didn't.
Yes.
But what are you gonna do? Rogue One actually probably was. It was a pretty good pack.
It's the biggest pack. It's got pretty much every character from Rogue One. I think the only one that's not there is Saw Gerrera, and that's understandable because he dies. Spoiler alert from a movie from 2016.
Yeah.
He dies in the first act, so it's understandable that he's not in there.
Even though he's in like a bunch
Clone
of
Wars,
episodes.
Rebels, Bad
Batch.
Batch, Jedi Fallen Order.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. When you get to Kashyyyk, he's like the first character you meet.
Oh my god, I so forgot. Okay. Saw Gerrera. Oh boy, I wonder what he's referencing. Then it is the classic characters pack where all the characters.
Which is a very good pack.
That is a masterpiece pack where everyone. It's like characters that are already in the game, but they're yellow with like the blank stare of like all the Lego characters. It's like Leia, Han, Luke, and Vader.
And Lando as well.
And Lando. And they all have like the old gun.
But that was the touch that I liked the most. It had like the megaphone piece with the translucent stud at the end.
Yeah, that was a big nostalgia one. We had then I think the rest of them all released at once. There was Bad Batch, which I'm gonna be totally honest, very disappointed in.
They had all the troopers, but not Omega.
Not Omega, and also another thing that I've been not mentioning for this specific reason, there is no new voice acting for any of these DLC packs. So
I mean, they got D. Bradley Baker to voice all the clones already.
yeah, and Jango Fett.
Yeah.
So why they couldn't have him come in to do all the Bad Batch? If they all interacted with each other, that would have been great.
Yeah.
But they all kind of play the same, right? Except Crosshair, who's an enemy.
Yeah.
So he, of course, has the different archetype, but they're all the hero characters, so they all play exactly the same. And so I was completely disappointed by that. And they don't also include Omega or any of the other characters that made cameos. And then we get to Mandalorian Season 2, which has Ahsoka in it.
That's actually a pretty good pack. It's got Ahsoka, it's got
Rearmored Boba Fett.
Fennec Shan.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon. I actually really like Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon's fun because he has the dark saber.
Yep.
And who is the last one?
Does it come with the Dark Troopers?
No. Oh, that awful pack. There was the Stormtrooper pack, which came with various random Stormtroopers as seen throughout all the Star Wars series, including the Dark Trooper issue.
Was the Dark Trooper in the Trooper pack?
I think it was.
The Death Trooper was.
Oh, okay, then I'm thinking of Death Trooper. So I gotta ask, why? The roster's already padded with 1 million clones. Why? I didn't need another Flame Trooper when there was already a First Order Flame Trooper? That makes no sense. Why couldn't we just have a Clone Wars
I will
pack?
say, apparently, the Incinerator Trooper is like one of the most overpowered characters in the game. I
Yes.
haven't played him,
Yes.
but that's what I've
But
heard.
so is the First Order, because it's the same character
Fair.
reskinned.
Fair.
But that is a pro tip. Any flamethrower trooper is like one of the best characters in the game. But it's like okay, so and they released on the same day. It's like, okay, here's the clone troopers. Also, here's Mando Season 2. And Mando Season 2 has some of the best characters you can play as. Again, no voice acting at all. So you pick Ahsoka, and she doesn't make any reference to Darth Vader or Anakin, which is really kind of weird. But the trooper pack was so useless.
Yeah.
It feels like it was leftover content. That they
And
just,
like we talked about this a while ago. Every single trooper that is in that pack could have been put in a separate pack.
Yeah.
Death Trooper could have put it in the Rogue One pack. Incinerator Trooper could have been put in the Mandalorian Season 1 pack. Mimban Stormtrooper. There was another one. The Range Trooper could have been put in the Solo pack. All of them could have been put in different packs. So it's just weird that they were given their own pack.
Yeah. So I'm shorter now. I think I've said all I'm about to say.
Is that why you're shorter? You've said everything?
I know, I'm deflated.
Yeah.
I am deflated now. I am a small child. Send help. My legs are broken.
Here's your help.
Oh my God, yes, thank you. So I'm thinking 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10?
I'm thinking 9 out of 10. Because obviously, even with all my gripes, it is still probably one of the best Lego games and the most of this gen. I think it's better than Lego.
Well, it's the only Lego game in this gen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, technically, it's both gens. Haha. So it's better than Lego Incredibles, better than Lego DC Supervillains, even though I really like DC Supervillains.
Forgot Incredibles existed.
Yep. It's better than what? Lego The Hobbit, better than Star Wars Episode 7. I'm just...
Which I believe, that wasn't that, received really well, too?
Yes, I mean, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. And what other Star Wars? What other Lego games? I think
Lego Marvel.
Lego?
The first one, the good one.
Lego Marvel, Lego Avengers, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2.
You're just listing off all the Lego games at this point.
Those were all at that last gen.
I know.
You can't get mad. But I'm just thinking in my head, it's like, well, it is objectively probably one of the best Lego games you can play.
I agree,
On
yeah.
the market. It does have a lot of minor gripes, so I wouldn't go out, full, 10 out of 10, but...
Yeah. I personally, I'm going to go down to 8. I still really like it, but there are, so the fact that there's a lot of characters that weren't in the game or were relegated to DLC, and there's some levels that shouldn't have been in there, or rather, levels that should have been in there and weren't.
Yeah.
It's just, it's frustrating. It's still a good game. It's just there is some frustration.
So range, high 8 to low 9.
Yes.
There we go. That's a good range. That's
Yeah.
the official DCM rating. So that's all I have to say about it. I keep getting shorter because this chair's not working.
Pretty soon he's gonna be gone.
No, if I actually don't. Woo.
Is that how low it can go? There you go.
That's how it looks. So with that out of the way, I'm Howard.
I'm David.
This is Godzilla. We'll see you all next
Goodbye.
time. Bye-bye.